God Talk Unfiltered.
So hopefully I haven't told you all this before. If I did, sorry. Um, After college, I escaped with my soon-to-be wife from Michigan, moved to sunny Southern California, and it was gorgeous. Fun place to be. And after 18 years, I got a good idea. I said, hey, let's move back to Michigan and be cold and get eaten by mosquitoes. So we did. And everyone thought we were stupid for doing that, so I came up with a better idea. Said, hey, let's buy a really old house for $1 and move it and try and restore it. Then people won't think we're stupid. So the house move went really well. It was filmed by HGTV. They did a show about it, so that was really cool. And kids got to be on national TV and all that. But everyone told us, what are you doing? That house is haunted. We met like 15 different people who had lived there. Everyone said the house is haunted, it's cursed. The guy that owned it, his family owned it for 100 years, is buried in the backyard there. You're going to have trouble. I said, you're superstitious, go away. So anyway, we moved the house, and then we started to restore it, and we ran into a few problems. Like a guy fell off scaffolding, broke his back, a guy had a stroke, a guy had a heart attack. The basement flooded twice. One time it cost $35,000 to repair the damage. Stuff arrived late, stuff didn't fit. It got to the point where I would call people and try and hire them, and they would say, no, I've heard about your house. The project is cursed. I am not working for you. So anyway, we made it to about the end of the project, and we're a little nervous because this was 2007 and house values were somewhat declining. And so then we went to the bank and we said, okay, we got one more draw. We can finish up the last things and get a C of O. And they said, no, you can't have your last draw until you first get the C of O. So, well, what am I going to use the money to get there? Well, that's too bad. That's our rule. And so we used our credit cards, and we maxed out every single credit card we had. We put about $40,000 on credit cards, finished enough to get a C of O, went back to the bank and said, okay, now give us the rest of our draw, convert our loan to a mortgage, and we're all happy and good. And the bank said, yeah, well, we're kind of going out of business, and we can't really do that conversion. And in fact, if you don't want to lose the house, you got to pay all the interest that's accrued on the loan. You have 3 weeks to come up with $22,000. And we said, well, how about if we refinance the house? So we went to some other banks, and they said, your credit's terrible. I said, well, how can my credit rating be terrible? We've always paid everything on time. And they said, yeah, but all your credit cards are maxed out. So you have a bad credit rating, plus your house isn't worth as much as you owe on it, so we can't give you a loan. So we had 3 weeks to come up with $22,000 in interest, or they were going to take the house, which really in a half-finished state didn't have much value, but they were going to take it anyway. We didn't really know anyone in Grosse Ile. We'd lived here for about maybe 18 months. We'd met a few people here and there, but not very many. We'd visited all the 5 churches, and we'd gone to GIPC, kind of started settling on Grosse Ile Presbyterian. We'd probably been there 5 or 6 times. So anyway, we're just throwing up our hands and giving up. And meanwhile, by the way, my wife, Donna, was repeatedly in the hospital, almost dying. So she wasn't really able to participate, and we were sidetracked a lot. And I was just done. Okay, let them have it. We're done. All of a sudden, Pam Frucci, many of you know her, shows up, and she says, I put together a group of people from GIPC and from the community. There's 12 of them. Each of them are going to loan you between $500 and $4,000. And we have your $22,000. Here you go. And I was just absolutely flabbergasted. I didn't know half of these people. I'd never even met them. And the rest of them I'd met maybe once. I hardly knew them at all. And so we went to them and we said, okay, what terms do you want? You know, name your terms, name your interest. Oh, we don't want interest. Well, when do we have to pay you back? Whenever you can. And so they came and saved the day for us. We were able to pay them back eventually and had a little party, which is where I actually met many of them. So it was a good moment for us. Thank you.